Blake Lively is clapping back and responding to Justin Baldoni releasing these receipts on her. Plus, we got Kyle Richards that's running away from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cameras, and we got Brynn, who is in the hot seat on Real Housewives of New York. We got that explosive finale, and we will discuss it. Let's dive in. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, everybody in the club? In the club, we all fam. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. I'm tired today. I went out to dinner to celebrate my friend's birthday, and I got home late. So I feel like my sleep is off. And then we had to do Inferno at Orange Theory today. And I was like, oh my goodness. I PR'd by only 14 meters. I got like 43.39 total meters, 4,000. 43.39, 4,000 meters, 4,300 meters. Whew. Ooh, 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 ooh. Tired. Thought I was going to pass out today. Zack, there's something white on your lip. Is there something white on my lip? There's nothing white on my lip. Christopher. Is there anything? No, there's nothing white. Why do I listen to you? Okay. I'm alive. Thank you guys for tuning in and for supporting the podcast and all the good stuff, right? Everyone's been watching all the reels and the tickety talks and doing all the damn things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. We'll get into all that because I see people have already started weighing in on the Blake and Baldoni stuff. But I did want to give some shout outs because I love you guys and I love when you leave nice reviews on Apple Podcasts. So I just wanted to read this one that came in on Sunday from Shop Gal 4. Hey, Shop Gal 4. Shop Gal 4 says, this podcast is a pass. Misogynistic opinions and leanings. Also, how he feeds right into the working of those who bully and intimidate women really bother me. His handling of workplace harassment and intimidation and how he's making profit out of it is gross. Thank you. Thank you, Shop Gal 4. I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast so much so that you were compelled to leave a review. That's me, Zack Peter out there just hating women, Just I wake up every morning and I'm just like, how misogynistic can I be today? Despite the fact that I was, raised by women and I think women are superior and I think men clearly I have daddy issues, which is why I'm still single. Because I don't like to commit to men because I don't trust men because I have deep internalized issues with men. But apparently I hate women more than I hate men, according to the internet. There you go. Shop-oholic in the live chat says, do you think their careers are over? Do I think, you're so in tears. Do I think their careers are over? Both Blake and Baldoni? I think Blake is really going to struggle. So, I don't know. Okay, well, let's read this statement that Blake Lively issued out. This was via her team. They sent this, and this was published in Us Weekly. Let's read what Blake Lively had to say. But before we do, guys, please do, if you are enjoying the show, please like, subscribe, review, all the things. And just a reminder, all Zack Pack merch, the link is in the description below. All Zack Pack merch, I'm donating 50% of the proceeds to the LA Fire Department, who have been fighting to take out the fires here in Los Angeles and keep us safe. And they're, I think, very underappreciated. So there you go. Zack Pack merch, all available in the link below. If you purchase, you get 50%, or sorry, you don't get 50%. 50% of the proceeds will be donated to help the LA Fire Department, to help with the fires here in Los Angeles. All right, that's all. Okay. This is a statement from Blake Lively issued to Us Weekly, or from her team, Blake's rep, right? So it says, Justin Baldoni and his lawyers may hope that this latest stunt will get ahead of the damaging evidence against him, but the video itself is damning. So this is in reference to what we discussed yesterday. Justin Baldoni released, so in Blake Lively's complaint, she alleges that there was some inappropriate conduct during this very specific scene that was filmed. So so Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios, which is his production company who produced the film, took the raw footage from that scene They took 3 different takes, and he released each of the 3 different takes, unedited, in their full entirety. You see it all the way through. You hear all the audio. She was unaware that there was audio being recorded. He released all of that in a near 10-minute video that was published by the Daily Mail yesterday. So this is Blake Lively and her team's response. Every frame of the released footage corroborates to the letter what Miss Lively described in paragraph 48 of her complaint. We'll get to paragraph 48 of her complaint. The video shows Mr. Baldoni repeatedly leaning in towards Miss Lively, attempting to kiss her, kissing her forehead, rubbing her face and mouth against her neck, flicking her lip with his thumb, caressing her, and telling her how good she smells, talking with her out of character. Every moment that was improvised, every moment of this was improvised by Mr. Baldoni with no discussion or consent in advance and no intimacy coordinator present. Mr. Baldoni was not only Miss Lively's co-star, but the director, the head of the studio, and Miss Lively's boss. Any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Miss Lively's discomfort. They will recognize her attempts at levity to try to deflect from the unwanted touching. No woman should have to take defensive measures to avoid being touched by their employer without consent. The matter is an active litigation in federal court. Releasing this video to the media rather than presenting it as evidence in court is another example of an unethical attempt to manipulate the public. It is also a continuation of their harassment and retaliatory campaign. While they focused on misleading media narratives, we're focused on the legal process. Right, like when you filed a complaint in California and then ended up filing the lawsuit in New York. Right, got it. We are continuing our efforts to require Mr. Baldoni and his associates to answer in court under oath rather than through manufactured media stunts. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, she's literally trying to say what you watched in the footage is not what you watched. Don't listen to your eyes and don't listen to your ears because they're not reliable. Listen to me. Listen to me, young children of the world. I'm telling you the truth. So, I mean, this is the class, like Lisa Rinna said, gaslighting, gaslighting, gaslighting. This is like such clear media manipulation and gaslighting. And the fact that people are stupid enough to fall for it. Sorry, at this point, if you are still with that, like, no, Blake, telling that I'm sorry. Like, there was one girl, I was just like, I was responding to her. What was she saying? The people are going back and forth with me on X because I've been like sharing the reels and talking about this on X. And one woman, I was just like, "Come on, you can't be that dumb." And she's just like, "You're calling me dumb?" And she's like, "Name calling is not nice." And I was like, "Well, I wasn't like name calling is superficial, and I wasn't trying to name call you. I was genuinely questioning your level of intelligence in case there was any confusion with that." So, yeah. And also, I said, you can't be that dumb, which means I was trying to give you a little more credit. I was like, come on, you're not that dumb. Like, I believe you're a smart person with critical thinking skills. Oh, is Chef Stu in the live chat? Hey, Chef Stu. Chef Stu came to cook up some eggs and bacon. Yeah, tired of the canceling thing myself. Yeah. MK said there were rumors from Gigi's set, from Gossip Girl's set, that Blake was dropped as a lead from the movie's side effects due to a producer backing out of financing because Blake was casted as the lead. I don't know. That sounds like an unsubstantiated rumor, so we're not going to spread that unless we have facts to back it up. But so that's the statement that she released. Now, she says that the footage that we saw released in the Daily Mail is exactly what she claims, right? It's so we're going to do he said, she said, right? Let's do the he said, she said. Let's review what they actually claimed in each of their lawsuits, okay? So this is in Blake Lively's lawsuit. Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming, this is her allegation. Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming a slow dancing scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Well, that's because they weren't aware that Mr. Baldoni was wearing a microphone. So when they put this out there, they didn't know that there was actually going to be audio. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear down her neck and said, "It smells so good." None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script. Nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even that attracted to you." So that's what she claims. And if you watch the footage, that's not what we see, right? But let's get into what he claimed in his lawsuit against her. He said, Lively continued to argue and tried to direct him for the scene while they were supposed to be in character filming the scene. At some point, Heath and another producer, irritated, called Baldoni aside to express that they can't capture the intended shot because Lively wouldn't stop talking. He was instructed to somehow get her to stop. While there was a brief verbal exchange, Baldoni, heeding the instruction of their assistant director and producers, because remember, they're on set, they're directing this scene, it's not just Baldoni, continued to bring them back into character. As they were acting in this montage scene, Lively continued to break character and speak as herself rather than as Lily, which was extremely confusing for Baldoni, who was trying to balance directing the scene with his artistic vision while also acting in character while filming and trying to get Lively to do the same. Lively apologized for the smell of her spray tan and body makeup. Baldoni responded, "It smells good," and continued acting, slow dancing as he believed his character would with his partner, which requires some amount of connection. So she claims he said, what does she say? She said that she claims that he said he smelled her neck and said, "It smells so good." And he says that he responded, "It smells good," when she said, "I might be getting my spray tan all over you." And he's like, "It's okay. Don't worry about it. It smells good." Right. And then she's like, "Well, actually, that's my body makeup that smells good." So very conflicting points, right? She makes it seem like he's the only one that's breaking character and he's the only one, like he's initiating this improvised dialogue. When if you watch the clip, which we did, it's posted on my Instagram too. We watched the clip and you can clearly see that she's the one that initiates the dialogue, and now her team in the statement are saying, "Oh, well, she initiated that dialogue to add levity because she was uncomfortable because he was her boss." This isn't a meeting. They're literally playing two lovers, and this is a romantic scene that they are filming, right? Like what type of dancing was she supposed to be line dancing with him? Was there supposed to be no touching at all? Are they not supposed to have chemistry as the two leads in a love story? Like if you watch the movie, right? Let's actually get back into the lens of the film. If you watch the movie, it starts after they meet with Ryle, Baldoni's character, pursuing Lily, Blake's character. And so what you're seeing in these shots is Blake Lively playing coy because her character was supposed to be coy because she's not yet willing to admit that she has feelings or she's developing feelings for Ryle. She's kind of coy. She's kind of playing hard to get. Like that's kind of the role because he's the one pursuing her. He's interested in her and she's just like, I don't know. Like it's tale as old as time, right? Man pursues woman, woman acts a little coy, and then eventually they fall in love, right? And so I haven't read the book like Blake Lively. I've not read the book. But when you watch the film, like that's how the character arc is playing out. They meet, there's chemistry. She's kind of nervous about him, but he's really into her and she's a little hesitant. And then eventually she leans in and then they fall in love. And then they realize, oh my God, now he actually ends up, being an abuser. Like, what's the next headline? Oh my God, Justin Baldoni, performs domestic violence scene against Blake Lively. No, you fucking loser. They're characters playing in a movie. And then people are like, well, if you read the script doesn't say that he's supposed to be smelling her spray tan. And I'm like, first of all, she was the one that was breaking character, and you can see that very clearly in the footage. We have her statement, his statement, and then we have the footage. The footage is objective. The footage does not lie. The footage is what the footage is, right? Like there's no deception of our eyes. So if people are saying, "Oh, she looks like she's kind of uncomfortable with him." Well, that's kind of the role of her character, is to kind of be coy, and you can hear them directing her in the scene with the footage and the audio that was released to the Daily Mail. You can clearly see they're directing her to pull away. Ryle leans in, Ryle wants to kiss her, she turns away. Like that's literally the direction that she was being given in that scene. So when you're seeing that, and yes, and then he yells cut, and he repeatedly yelled cut, and you can see when he yells cut, he disengages, you know? Was he supposed to hold his breath? I don't really know what they were expecting Baldoni to do in this lovers scene. It's a romantic montage. That's the part where I'm like, are people this fucking stupid? Like they're literally filming as two lovers. Like, did you want them to have sterile square dancing? Like, what did you expect when the script? Because some people are like, well, look at what the script. The script doesn't say that. The script doesn't say that. Read the script. So let's pull up the fucking script because I just, to me, it's so crazy when it's like talking to people that are, it's like talking to a brick wall waterfall. Dickie thinks he's got it all, but he don't. And I do. So boom with that attitude. Peace, punch, Captain Crunch. But it's also wild that they say he was her boss. Like, your boss shouldn't be sniffing you like that. He didn't just find her in the hallway and be like, oh, you smell so good, pretty lady. Like, that's literally not what happened. Yes, technically he's her boss, but like, well, if he's, if he has so much authority as her boss, why was he in the fucking basement at the premiere? If he's the one with all the power, right? Because there was an imbalance. He's her boss. He's also playing the character that falls in love with her character. Like it's so wild to me. It just, and the fact that they're even like, well, listen, that's what okay, well, here's the script, because they're saying that's not what the script called for. So the script, which we'll get into it in a second, but it says Lily and Ryle slow dance in the bar. Patrons around them are drinking and watching sports, completely in their own world. So slow dancing completely in their own world. What did you want them to do? Interpretive dance? Were they supposed to be like this? And don't touch me, Baldoni, because my character doesn't want you to touch me. So I'm going to do interpretive dance. Or maybe I'll just slow dance the robot, right? I'm going to slow dance the robot because that's, the script doesn't say what type of slow dancing, but the script is not always the script is literal, right? It's words and it's slight direction from the screenwriter. And so the screenwriter puts the story together, but what colors the story are the director and the actors. The actors take the dialogue and they're the ones that play the character. And a lot of times they do it with direction from the director, right? The director is literally the one that's has the creative vision to play it out, and he works together, or she works together with the actors to paint the picture, right? Because the script is literal, it's dialogue, and very rarely, and maybe there's some scene setup, as we see here, they're slow dancing in a bar. That's basically all it says. They're in their own world. So the actors and the director interpret that how they will, and then bring that story to life, right? But like, yeah, when you read her lawsuit, you're like, oh my God, what a creep. Like he just went and he was improvising. He kissed her? What? How dare his character kiss her? How dare the lead actor in a love story kiss the lead actress without consent? Like, what? Like, I'm sorry, did it hurt when you fell out of the coconut tree? Or are you just that stupid? Because like it's becoming more and more like when I almost said losers. Sorry. When the people on Nick Vial's podcast go off and they're just like, it's black and white, it's black and white. And they were saying that in reference to Blake Lively's initial CRD complaint, which wasn't a lawsuit, but it was filed in California, even though her actual lawsuit was filed after his lawsuit against the New York Times, but she filed in New York, not in California. So I don't understand what the whole point of doing the CRD letter was, especially since that's confidential and she leaked it to the New York Times. I don't know. I have a few questions. That's a couple of red flags there. But then, like, it's just whole spin on it is wild to me. Wild, wild, wild. Michelle says, Zach, what will this mean for future film sets? Who is going to want to take on these types of roles if they can be accused of SH for doing their jobs? Well, I would imagine, one, things are going to be a lot more strict, but two, I would also imagine there will be waivers that will have to be signed, right? Like, you are consenting to act out love scenes with another character when are acting out a romantic dancing montage. It's just cuckoo bananas to me? But it's just funny because I think she really thought she was gonna get away with this because it's referenced in her lawsuit that there was no audio. None of the audio was being filmed, and she didn't realize he had a mic pack on, which was smart on his end. You really think he's gonna put on a mic pack and then go on set and then try to intentionally harass her when there's footage and audio? He was aware that there's footage and audio. She was not aware that there was audio. So when you have that level of awareness, who do you think is going to be the one that's going to push the boundary, right? Who do you think the one's more likely to lie? The one that knows there's actual evidence that could be subpoenaed and submitted in court with audio? Or, Caroline Manzo over there who didn't think anything got caught on mic or camera? The level of delusion is crazy. And then for them to be like, did you see the footage? It's exactly what we claim. And I'm like, yeah, nah, that's literally not what you claimed. You made it seem like he was just inappropriately making advances at her, which clearly were not. We can see that she takes direction when she wants to take direction, because if you look at the third cut that was released to the Daily Mail, which most people didn't pick up on this, but so the third shot was really just the two of them. It was their feet, right? It was a lower body shot, and it kind of pans up as they're dancing. But the third shot, the third take, was mainly just the floor and their feet dancing. For more B-roll footage, I assume, or just like a different angle of them. And you can hear her say, make sure you get a good shot of my shoes because I want to show off the sparkles. She wanted to make sure we got a good shot of her Louboutins. So she's not afraid to vocalize herself when she wants to. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's so dumb to me, the people that are still trying to twist themselves into pretzels. I'm like, hey, Auntie Anne, why don't you use your brain and stop trying to twist yourself into a pretzel to meet this? Brian says Blake Lively has that level of surprise, like Karen Huger was like, there's a recording of this? Yeah. And Karen Huger's like, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. And then the body cam footage gets revealed from the night of her DUI, and everybody was like, whoa, she was lit. Homegirl was Liddy City. Not even Liddy City. She went to the Capitol, you know? The shoes she got them to buy. Yeah, the 5,000. Well, I don't know if those were the $5,000 pair of shoes that she was specifically requesting. They are Louboutins. Louboutins are expensive. I don't know if that was specifically the pair of shoes that were $5,000 that she requested her character have. TMZ is finally changing their opinion. Well, because at this point, it's like, how much more evidence do people need? Emily Simpson, who I'm hoping we can do a collab with, because she has her podcast where she breaks down legal stuff, because she's an attorney, Emily Simpson from the Real Housewives of Orange County. It's so funny. I had Christine Quinn in my DMs yesterday. I had Emily Simpson. I had Tom Sandoval. Like, all these people were DMing me yesterday, and or following me, and I was like, oh, hi, everybody. Trust me, all of the Bravo Lebs are also very invested in all of these topics too. Let me tell you. But so I'm hoping Emily Simpson can come on the podcast, or we can do some sort of crossover. But I mean, definitely DM her, comment, and be like, you and Zack need to collab, and let her know that you want to see that, because she's an attorney, and she was saying, I reviewed all of the evidence, and her and I, same page with this. We see it. We see eye to eye in all of it. So that's the scene. That's, we watch the video clips. I have the video clips. They're posted on Instagram, or you can watch the full 9 to 10 minute montage on the Daily Mail. You can go to the Daily Mail and watch it there. But yeah, so we had he said, she said, and then we had the footage. And the footage is not opinion based. The footage is objective, right? And I think based off of most people's reaction to this footage, if this goes before a jury and they see that, you really think they're going to side with Blake Lively? Like, in what level of Delulu land does Blake think that she's coming into this courtroom with? Like, it just is again bananas. Bananes. Bananas. This shit is bananas. Bananas. Zen Theory says, if it were a I don't want a sex scene. I would expect every move is choreographed, but not an intimate slow dance without dialogue. Very plausible that it would be improvised because that's part of acting, right? Like with acting, you don't choreograph every single detail of a scene, right? I mean, if it's a fight scene, if it's a very specific dance scene where you have specific dance moves, right? If you're supposed to, if the scene calls for you to do the electric slide, then yeah, there would be some choreography to make sure you're doing the exact electric slide. And then you would take the direction from the director as to which shots and what angles are going to be filmed. And so you take their direction in terms of what to do. But it's not highly, it's not in the realm of crazy land to think that two leads that are playing lovers and the whole intent of this portion of the film is dedicated to Ryle pursuing Lily and Lily playing coy before she admits her feelings for Ryle, then yeah, this interaction with that context and with the full unedited cut of that scene, sorry, definitely seems like Baldoni's, a lot more, what do you call it? A lot more credible in this. But two people that must be feeling really stupid right now. Colleen Hoover, who has just left Instagram. So Colleen Hoover is the author of It Ends With Us. I went to LA Live last night and there was this big giant line and somebody was just like, "Oh my god, there's a book signing here." And we're just like, "Oh, what's the book signing? Like what?" And then it was like this giant line and these people had bags and it said something about a dragon, like I don't know, eat my dragon or something. But it was about a dragon. And so we were trying to figure out who the author was and what the event was. And I was like, "Oh my god, could this be Colleen Hoover? Is Colleen Hoover at LA Live right now doing a book signing? What?" Mallory says, 1,800 people, 1,900 people in the live chat right now, or watching live right now. Guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying this. Hit the like button. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for Zack to start singing You Are My Fire. You are my fire, the one desire, desire. It didn't actually say eat my dragon. It said something about a dragon, and I was like, I don't know. What does it say? Thank you guys. Yes, please hit the like button if you're enjoying this. 1,900 people watching live right now. Thank you. Um, but so yeah, Colleen Hoover has left Instagram probably because she feels like an idiot, right? Because she decided to blindly take Blake Lively's side, and then now more and more evidence comes out. Listen, I will say this: I do agree that Justin Baldoni and his legal team appear to be using the media to tell their story before we actually appear in court. I think the legal strategy is they're trying to strong arm Blake into, at this point, folding, right? Like just be like, listen, the evidence is strong. It's not in your favor. The odds are not forever in your favor. It's actually the opposite. Okay. You're not Katniss. You're not Khaleesi. Okay. So, yeah. And all they're doing is playing the game that she started, right? She literally leaked this to the New York Times. And the New York Times ran with this false narrative. So, yeah. But so Colleen Hoover decided to leave Instagram, and it's probably because she's embarrassed. She took the wrong side. She wasn't on the set. She wasn't seeing the interactions. She took Blake's word at face value, which, listen, we absolutely should do, right? We should believe women and take their word at face value until they lie. And then when we realize that they lie, ooh, Ryan Reynolds lost 23,000 followers on Instagram today. Yikes. See, it's starting to hurt reputations. Stealthy Chisel says, Zach, you made me obsessed with this drama. I'm obsessed with this drama. It's juicy. It's Miss Juicy, baby. So we'll see if she gets to wear her florals to court. But yeah, Colleen Hoover looks like an idiot. You know who else looks like an idiot? Nick Vial of the Vial Files podcast. Every time, I don't watch his podcast, but every time somebody sends me a clip or I see it circulating on social media and they're just like, it's black and white, believe Blake. Why don't people believe women? I was watching that clip and I was like, oh my God, the hysterics. Let me see if I can find it. One of them, she was just like, it's not even about believe women because nobody believes women anymore. Yeah, because women fucking lie. That's why. We want to believe women. We want to champion. Like, nobody's like, yeah, I don't want to champion women. Okay. But then you have women like Amber Heard and Blake Lively that lie. That's a new word for you. Look it up in a dictionary. Lie. 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 Because when evidence contradicts your word, then guess what that's called? Look it up in the dictionary. OMG, LIE. Lie. I think Justin Baldoni's attorney really, really wants to go to trial, but Blake, I mean, I don't know, maybe. We have some, let me do some shout outs real quick. Jacqueline Johnson says, unfortunately, Blake still has a case. As long as she thinks SH and made a complaint, they can get Baldoni on retaliation for the complaint. That's what I think they're trying to do. I think that's what they're working towards. She does listen. She absolutely still technically, yes, has a case for sure. Is it a strong case? I don't think so. And the more legal experts that start to read up on this, and like Emily, Emily Simpson came in and she was like, listen, I read it. It's not looking good, Zack, she can lie and hallucinate SH and win on retaliation for making a complaint. The law needs to be modified for false complaints. Okay, so yes, she can hallucinate. I mean, yeah, but I think that's probably, I don't know. If it goes before a jury, I mean, I don't think, again, listen, OJ got off. So at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen enough of these tactics. Nicole says, do you think, Nicole yesterday, who tried to get me canceled in the live chat, remember, she was like, I have a juicy super chat for you. Answer this political question. I was like, Nicole, do you think Blake will fold? Do you think Justin's career will be okay since the evidence? Well, here's the thing. He's never going to recover from this fully because there are enough idiots in the world that believe Blake, right? And they just are blindly, taking her word at face value and ignoring all of the evidence that contradicts her claims. So, unfortunately, those people will always see Baldoni as, some sort of Hollywood predator. Do I think she'll fold? I don't know. We're very far from a trial. Like, even if a trial does move forward, we likely won't have that for maybe till what? Or maybe 2026, maybe. It's not going to be for a while. So we got time, and we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. Because I mean, I think even Ariana's case is something about her, Ariana and Katie, their lawsuit from Chef Penny, that's set for trial in March 2026. So that's over a year from now that their trial is set, and that was filed just a couple months ago. So I don't think Justin was a huge star, which is why she thought she could do this. Well, not only that, but I think it's not just that she was a bigger star, but I also think she was like, oh, he's a feminist. He would never fight back against a woman. He would never do anything to hurt his reputation like that. So I think she really believed that this was gonna really, that he wasn't gonna fight back. And then he's like, look at me fighting back. MGH High Life says her statement did not give consent at the 5-minute mark. She agrees. Why is this scene and not making out scenes? She was banking that there was no audio. Hopefully Netflix purchases Justin's cut. Yeah. In regards to her not giving consent, it's kind of funny because it's like that. And not to say that you shouldn't give consent on a film set, right? But like, have you guys seen that person on TikTok? I don't know how she identifies, probably like a gender non-conforming, non-binary, whatever. Probably somebody that's genderless, right? She or he or they, whatever. The person on TikTok cuts hair for a living, right? And they're like, they have a client, and then they ask, "Can I touch your hair? Like, do I have permission to touch your hair?" And then everybody's always trolling them in the comments. And like, you literally cut hair for a living. Somebody booked an appointment with you, came and sat in your chair, and you're asking for consent to touch their hair. Don't they kind of consent to you touching their hair when they make the appointment and go and sit down in your salon chair to get a haircut? Daily Dose of Donna here. She says, genderless. Oh my God, Zach. I don't know. That's like a thing. People are like genderless now. According to them. Why is everybody talking? Is genderless a thing? That's a thing, right? Like, I didn't make that up. Like, people absolutely like claim to be genderless. No? Why is everybody laughing about that in the live chat? Mercedes says, yes, because gender is a construct in society. I think gender norms are the construct in society, not gender specifically. Gender is pretty binary. It's gender is biology. Agender, yes, people identify as agender. Not like a single gender, but a gender with the A as in the gender as a one word. Everyone, yeah. Everybody. My 7-year-old has a genderless friend in his class. Great. Yeah. Gender is large. Why? Okay, we're not getting into Listen, we are not going to get into a conversation about gender. Nick Vial. Speaking of genderless, Nick Nick Vial. So he just let me play the clip for you guys because it was I think Daily Dose of Donna may have shared it. Somebody shared it and I saw it. I saw it before and then somebody reshared it recently. Where they're basically she's on his podcast and she's like going into hysterics about this is black and white and it's not about believe women because nobody believes women anymore. And I'm just like, lady, you are being way too damn dramatic. Or actually, maybe we won't play it because I don't want them to like come and try and flag me for copyright infringement for playing a clip of their podcast because they're probably gonna be mad that I'm talking my shit. But so he just looks like a fool because he admits that he hasn't read everything, but like, he met Justin Baldoni like one time and he saw Justin Baldoni like doing yoga in front of everybody or like he was meditating in front of everybody. And Nick Vial was just like, yeah, it's, it's absolutely, he seems like he's fake, like, I don't know what it was that triggered Nick Vial, but he has a boner for Justin Baldoni and he just like won't let it go. He like is relentlessly like believe Blake. And so then people started digging, right? And so apparently Nick Vial and Ryan Reynolds follow each other on Instagram. As of yesterday, I looked and they're both following each other. Not only that, but then people dug into the fact that Nick Vial's podcast, The Vial Files, happens to be sponsored by Mint Mobile. And so I made a video and I was like, oh, what a coinky dink. They follow each other on Instagram. Mint Mobile's a sponsor of the Vial Files. Mint Mobile's Ryan Reynolds' company. Like, this is a little fishy. And so, yes, I put that out there, but I also want to add context. Context matters. And I want to discuss how sponsorship deals work. And Daily Dose Done on the live chat can vouch for this because we are both podcasters. However, I absolutely love that LA vloggers, Donna and Zack, are supporting our LA culture. Are we vloggers? But so listen, you want me to rant about Nick Vial? I can rant about Nick Vial, but I want to explain how podcast sponsorships work and why I put that video out there, right? So the reality of how somebody like Nick Vial is booking sponsors for his podcast is Nick is not personally having meetings with brands and signing sponsorship deals. That does still happen, but it's very rare that like I still like BuyArray, right? That's one of my sponsors that I talk about all the time. Love me some BuyArray. BuyArray.com. Use code Zack, ZACK for free shipping. Code Zack for free shipping at buyarray.com. But so that's one company that I know directly. I have a personal relationship with, have known them for many, many years, have taken their products for many, many years. And so that's a direct deal. But that's rare. Most podcasters now, and listen, I've been podcasting for a long time. Most podcasters or most people that are new to the game, like Nick Vial, who had a built-in audience and came in, started a love dating podcast and then realized that that wasn't as profitable as, having opinions about hot headlines, right? So now he's pivoted into pop culture news stories. And so he's not meeting with Ryan Reynolds and signing a deal directly with Mint Mobile. How these things typically happen is there's an ad agency. That's what's become the industry standard. The ad agency is the broker, and they're the ones that secure deals with brands on behalf of the podcasts. So it's very likely that Mint Mobile, with a number of other sponsors, if not all of his other sponsors, are being brokered through an ad agency. His team, I'm sure, isn't even working with brands directly unless they have some sort of previous relationship or some sort of personal relationship, right? So I don't think that, well, first of all, Ryan Reynolds is not signing the checks at Mint Mobile and he's not directly paying Nick Viall, right? So podcast sponsors usually come through an ad agency. And so you typically just know that month or that week or whenever it's disclosed to you when you have to run your ad, who your sponsors are. So I think Nick Viall is doing the Hollywood performative thing. He wants to be on the side of believe women because that's the performative thing that you have to do in Hollywood. You have to make sure that your image is always good, and you have to make sure that you are on the right side of history. And so you want to support all the Blake Lively's, and you want to support all the genderless people, and you want to do all of that stuff, right? He worked with the homeless, he worked with the toothless. Got it. So I think a lot of it is performative. A lot of it is I need to be on the right side of history without looking at the facts, because the more that you actually look at the facts and the evidence, Baldoni has a much stronger case. Okay. Absolutely much stronger case on Baldoni's side rather than on Blake's side. However, Nick Viall still out there, fighting for Blake Lively. Like, yes, Blake Lively, yeah, believe women. When it's just like, I mean, he probably knows that Mint Mobile is a sponsor. He can probably put two and two together and be like, yeah, that is Ryan Reynolds' company. I don't want to have any sort of potential risk of losing a sponsor. If he loses Mint Mobile, he'll be fine. He'll find somebody else to replace them. But I think he wants to stay in good with Ryan Reynolds. He wants to make sure Ryan Reynolds still follows him in the future because, again, all performance, right? It's all about virtue signaling and who's got the bigger Hollywood stars in my court and who's, why I think Colleen Hoover decided to side with Blake Lively. So, yeah. I think his opinions are half baked. I don't think he really cares. I don't think he has to care, right? He knows that he has a big company behind him. He knows that he has sponsors behind him, not because he's a good podcaster, but because he happened to be on a dating show. Like that's the reality. That's why most reality stars, when they transition into podcasting, a lot of the times they're not that good. Why? Because they don't have a skill set to be able to be a podcaster or a host, but they like to hear themselves talk, and brands will work with them because they have a lot of Instagram followers and they can go and spew their nonsense. That's why Nick Viall has like 10 other people on his podcast, because he doesn't need to be that interesting because they can carry the weight for him. It's a lot harder to do something like what I do or like what Daily Dose of Donna does, where you host the entire show all on your own. When you're a solo host and you can still hook and capture an audience and still rank in the charts and do well, then that's a lot harder and takes a lot more skill than to, cash in on your reality TV followers on Instagram and secure yourself a good deal and then phone it in by having 8 other people on your podcast to carry most of the weight for you, right? So, there you go. I have nothing personally against Nick Viall. I think at one point I was like, "Ooh, I would love to someday come on his podcast." But like at this point, listen, I'm always gonna call it. I'm always gonna call it out. You always know if I see some bullshit, I'm gonna say it. And when I look at his coverage of this case, it's bullshit. Sorry, not sorry. It's talent to do that daily. Yeah, and we do it daily, right? Daily dose Donna. Me and Donna out here doing it Monday through Friday. We out here, we doing the damn thing. And we have original thoughts, right? Like we don't let the media tell us what to think. Because like we know how to use our critical thinking skills and we know how to use our reading comprehension skills by reading Blake's complaint and Blake's lawsuit and then Baldoni's lawsuit against the New York Times and then Baldoni's lawsuit against uh, Blake and Ryan. Like we know how to read things in its entirety and like look at it from an objective viewpoint and factor in evidence and facts because they matter, you know? Context matters as well. So, yeah. Daily Dose of Donna says, "Do you think everyone on Nick's set agrees with him?" Probably not, but I think they do the same bullshit that he's doing. He's eating Ryan Reynolds' ass, and so with the people on his podcast, they're not going to go against him. They're going to, do whatever they can to keep securing their job. It's kind of, once you see it, you can't really unsee it, and then you see it all the time in Hollywood. Tale as old as time, and it's boring as fuck. So, good luck to Nick Viall. It's my little Nick rant. Some of us know how to use our critical thinking skills. It's a dying art form, truly, Truly, but they have to suck up to him. Yeah, I mean, listen, talk about a power imbalance. Tiffany says Nick Viall has a superiority complex. Yeah. Nick very rarely gets it right. I don't know. I don't listen to his podcast. TMZ reported today that Blake Lively's team wants to put a gag order on Baldoni's lawyer. I'm sure they do. I'm sure. Well, here's the thing. Didn't they just say that the evidence that he's been leaking actually supports her case? So then why do they have an issue with that? They're basically getting tipped off on the evidence ahead of time and already spinning it with their statements in the media. So why would you need to put a gag order if all of their evidence is like basically proving your case? Like, aren't they helping you? Aren't they doing you a favor? Vanessa says, I'm exhausted of people calling us misogynist when we want to know the truth and doubt some accusations. I'm a 56-year-old woman who witnessed abuse from men and women. Listen, there you go, girl. Preach. Preach. It doesn't bother me anymore when people say misogynist or you're racist or you're, you know, homophobic or transphobic or whatever they want. Like, it's such a cheap argument at this point. Zach, you're on fire today. This girl is on fire. Just call me the Pacific Palisades because this boy is on fire. Too soon. May have been a little too soon. Sorry. Listen, if we don't laugh, we cry, right? We have to be able to laugh at tragedy in order to heal from it. Donna said too soon in all caps. Yeah. Should I wait before the fire's fully put out? Fully put out like me on a Friday night. Would you ever consider doing stand-up again? It's been so long since I did stand-up. It is. Tanya said, oh my God, you did not. Listen, I'm donating my merch sales. I was out there taking care packages to the fire department and donating things to the shelters. We don't laugh, we cry. Zach about to ignite an ember. Let's hope those winds don't come and get me because my embers will go flying. Did you see all the Blake Lively videos when she did blackface? I haven't seen them. I think some people have sent them to me. I haven't looked at them yet. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care. Donna said, you're a shit starter and a fire starter. I bring the heat. I am a shit starter. Watch, that's going to end up on Reddit somewhere. Some losers going to be like, did you hear Zack Peters making fun of the fire? Whatever. Oh, losers. Toddy said, well, I didn't say it wasn't funny. Queen Hermit says, I love that you fully put out. I mean, it depends, right? It depends on who and what you should do stand-up. I used to do stand-up. That's why Christopher was asking, would I ever do it again? I used to do stand-up. Yes. I haven't done it in a very long time. I haven't seen the Blake Lively. Oh, wait, no, I did see a clip last night. She said that she like put a bunch of bronzer on and then she wore a big afro because she wanted to like look more black. Is that what she said? I remember I actually did see one of the clips last night. Listen, I'm not about that though. I'm not about like digging into people's pasts and, bringing their old behavior from 20 years ago to light, like different time. Not that I endorse or condone that behavior, but I don't like that uh, cancel culture of like, let's go back and, let's scrape up every infraction that a person has made. Yeah, TMZ just supported Blake and Ryan asked the judge to shut up Justin. Yeah, because it's actually not helping them. It's actually doing the opposite. Ooh, Kylie Claire says, bye, Zach. This is an aggravating take and cadence. You're acting like an ass. Well, I act like what I know best. And listen, I know how to destroy a good ass. Zach fully puts out, y'all gotta stop. I'm gonna fly out off this treadmill. I mean, why lie? Everyone in the live chat said, bye-bye. I love when people announce their exits, I'm like, baby, this isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your departure, You are what you eat, Zach. Listen, I haven't eaten ass in a minute. Okay, we're getting dirty. Let's talk Beverly Hills and RHONY. So both great not you being a top. Did you not know that? I've said that. My dick's too pretty to not put in people. Zach, are you still going to Orange Theory every morning? You have so much energy. Yes, I'm actually brain zonked and my body's a little tired. We had Inferno today. and that it's a run row, 23 minutes, and you just go, you row your boat, and then you have to run on the tread, and you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, yeah. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Thank you, Patty. Beverly Hills. So, new episode of Beverly Hills. We see Bose hosting this like spa day where everyone can come and get a massage and like have a self-care Sunday. And here the text messages between Kyle and PK come up yet again. Do we think that there's anything incriminating with these damn text messages? I think Kyle being like secretive about the text messages makes it seem like it's a lot worse than what it actually is. I don't think that she's genuinely, just being super platonic when it comes to PK. I think she definitely there's definitely a little more there, and she's not being entirely honest with us. But I don't like how I don't know. I guess I agree with people, and they're like, every season it's a pile on, and they pick one person, and all the ladies pile up on them. And they did it to Denise, and they did it to Erica, and they're doing it to Kyle. A lot of it really does come from Sutton and Garcelle. Like Sutton and Garcelle, who have never been in the hot seat, who never get grilled. Because listen, the only two times that Sutton and Garcelle have ever reacted to getting put in the hot seat, and it's like we barely even touch the surface, right? We're in the shallow, we haven't even gone in the deep with them, but anytime we touch the shallow, Sutton is just like a bag of nerves, and her little bird legs are shaking, and she's like crying hysterically, and she's like, stop it. Like, she can't take the heat, like somebody take her out of the kitchen because she cannot take the heat. She dips in and it's like a 78 degrees, and she acts like she's in the oven fully baked at 450. So Sutton can't take the heat. She turns into a rattlesnake of nerves. And then Garcelle just throws down the race card. The second anybody challenges her, she immediately turns it into race. And you're privileged. And how dare you say that to me? And how dare Kyle call me out for not paying my donation to the charity? How dare she? That's racist. And Kyle's like, well, but you didn't pay the donation to the charity. Like, that's a thing you didn't do. Like, you said that you were going to donate. You pledged it. You pledged the donation, Amber Heard, and then you didn't make the donation. So I think Sutton and Garcelle don't know how to take the same heat that they like to give. But it does feel like a pile on Kyle. I don't like that Kyle left. I don't like that Kyle quit the show for a week after this because, and this is where I kind of like agree, even though it's kind of annoying. It sounds like I'm going to hold her to the fire when she comes back. And I'm like, sure, but like it's annoying that Kyle left. I don't think she should have quit because when Erica was in the absolute hot seat, right? She showed up every single scene that she was scheduled to film. She showed up, she filmed, she never ran away. She got defensive. She definitely had some ugly moments, but she absolutely sat there and took her beating from the ladies every single time they came in with the whips. She took it on the chin. Sutton and Garcelle, I feel like, are doing the most. I like Bose. Bose is a great addition. It's hard. I feel like she's trying to get in the mix, but she's also like trying to refrain and trying to be objective because she's still new to this group. So I like that, Bose very much has a backbone. She stays firm in who she is, but she also is getting to know everybody and not trying to prejudge everybody. So I like Bose. Big fan of Bose. I think she's a great addition. Better than Anne Marie. Not as good as Diana Jenkins. I thought Diana Jenkins was that was a lady with money, and she had 0 Fs to give. Bose is also great. Bose also got money, and she doesn't have as many Fs to give. But my only hesitation with Bose is she was an executive, right? And she worked for a lot of really big companies. And I think when you work in corporate, you do have a filter, right? And you do have a cognizance of your image. And so I think that's my only concern about Bose. We haven't really seen that yet, but that's my only concern is she potentially going to be filtering herself because she comes from a corporate world and she wants to make sure she still protects her corporate reputation? It's possible. So that's my only hesitation with Bose, which I think is a natural hesitation to have with somebody new coming into the group. But I absolutely am digging Bose. Dorit. I think Dorit is doing the most, but I don't think, I know Chef Stu thinks that Dorit's performative. She's acting. I wouldn't say that she's acting, but I think that she's getting frustrated with the fact that nobody else is giving much to the show. I think Dorit's giving a lot. She's putting it all out there. She's reacting really big, and everybody else is kind of just coasting this season. Kyle's in the hot seat, but she's running away, and everybody else is really just coasting. Bose, I think, gets a pass to coast a little bit because she's new and she's still getting to know everyone. Where Dorit is just fully activated and heated. And I am enjoying Dorit this season, but I'm getting annoyed that Dorit is the only one that's giving us stuff, you know? She's trying, right? She's definitely trying. And she's bringing it. And she's trying to save the show and carry it on her back. And she's having a tough time with it because nobody else really wants to come and show up for work. But it was a fine episode. I didn't think that it was like groundbreaking. I think Kyle, there seems to be something more to the texts with PK. I personally think that Kyle and PK have discussed Dorit, and they're in sync with thinking that Dorit has changed and maybe that fame has gotten to her. And I think they've connected over that. So, oh, Kylie's still here. You're irritating. Kylie, I thought you left. You said bye-bye. I guess bye-bye didn't mean anything. Your plane got delayed because it didn't take off. I love when they're like, bye, and then they stay in the chat just to be haters. It's my favorite. It's literally my favorite. I love when they're just like, bye. Thank you, my love. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Now she's gonna hit the down like button. I'm gonna down like it. I'm gonna report it. Report it for misinformation, saying that talking about genderless people. Love Zack's spiciness. I feel like I'm always pretty spicy. You know they're really serious when they announce they're unsubscribing. Oh, I know. I'm unfollowing you. Unsubscribing. 1 star. I'm like, are you just saying that so that you can hear yourself? Because like I'm really not affected by it. Baldoni would be happy to stay in character if she would have stopped talking. That's a good point, Jacqueline. Yes, but we've moved on from Baldoni. So yeah, that was Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills was fine. I think it was a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, I Dorit at the end. You can see she's trying to activate Erica because they were, she was trying to get Erica to pick a side and trying to get Erica to kind of like bring something. And I think Erica's kind of coasting this season too. I think everybody's just I love Erica, but I think they're all just coasted. Sutton and Garcelle aren't bringing anything other than poking at Kyle, which is just an easy dig to take, right? And I don't know, the whole Kyle and PK texting thing is just weird, but I'm also kind of over it at this point. So we'll see. Erica's going to stay neutral. Yeah, she's going to stay neutral. I don't think she wants to get in the mess. And she even says, like, maybe I should, dip out of this friendship. But okay, so I did the Lord's work and I watched Real Housewives of New York, the finale. And I'm going to give you the spoiler. If you don't want to watch it, I watched it for you. Yes, Steph, we're going to talk about Bryn. Spoilers. I know nobody likes to watch RHONY, so we can get into that. I'll give you the spoilers because I would appreciate if somebody gave me the spoilers so that I didn't have to watch it. But so this season has been hyped up for this big altercation in Puerto Rico. There was some big fight that happened between Bryn and Uba, and then the season opened up, taking us to present day before flashing back to where we are, and we finally get to the big revelation of what went down in Puerto Rico. And so what we saw last week was the night was starting to take a dip. They were getting a little lit. There's beef between Bryn and between Uba. And so Bryn and Uba start going at each other because Uba made a comment about Bryn, possibly sucking some D to get ahead or to get this job. And she kind of alluded to maybe Bryn sleeps around to get her money or to not like as a prostitute, but like, she sleeps around to like get ahead, and to get jobs or gigs or to have rich men, pay for her like a sugar baby. And so Bryn was really triggered by that and she didn't like that. And she reacts and she's like, who are you? You're always talking about your name and your brand. You're not Giselle. You're not Naomi. And then Uba's like, Giselle wishes and Naomi wishes. And she like flips off. And then everybody's talking about Uba and how Uba is such a hot temper and all this stuff. And so what we see this week, we pick right back up because we saw like Bryn and Aaron kind of get into it because Bryn's like, you didn't have my back. And Aaron is like, what do you mean? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I walked away because I thought you were both taking cheap shots. So we now see that Bryn reveals to some of the other ladies that she's so hurt that Uba would make that comment, considering that Bryn revealed to Uba, according to Bryn said, I told Uba that I was assaulted. You know, there was some grape juice and it happened and it was not good. It was not good. Miss Busted Can of Biscuits says, I love you and Adam being friends. My heart is so happy. I like that Adam and I have made up. We were talking on the phone the other day. We have good conversations. Like, we're in a really good place. I'm happy that we're in a really good place. I have to, like, dare I say, I think I kind of missed my friend a little bit. I'm glad that we're, like, not in this, like, full-blown Blake and Baldoni war, you know? Because we were there for a minute. It was all out war for like what, 2 years? And now we're in a good place. So Erica says he's lucky to have you back. I don't disagree with that. Okay, so Bryn reveals to the women that she, was assaulted, and she basically says, Uba knew this. I told Uba she knew that I was assaulted, and she still went low by making that comment about me having to sleep my way to the top. Boom. Then the other women are shocked and they're just like, oh my God, what? I can't believe Uba would say that, which to me, not to be insensitive, and you'll probably cancel me for this, but to me, in watching it, I didn't directly see it felt a bit performative from some of the other ladies, like Raquel, and Raquel's like crying. She's like, I couldn't even look at Uba. I couldn't even look at her after I knew that she said that to Bryn, knowing that she knows what happened to Bryn. And I'm like, I don't get the connection between the two. Like, that's the part that's a little confusing for me, is her claiming that Bryn is sleeping her way to the top doesn't directly correlate with Bryn at one point being assaulted, unless the assault was in reference to like a boss, right? A boss did this to her, and because the boss did this to her, that's what makes the connection with, that's where the connection is with sleeping her way to the top, right? To get jobs or opportunities, right? Now, we do have to factor in this was late at night and they all were drinking, right? So your judgment is a little off. And I think this is kind of something that Bryn does, is she just likes to say things and kind of put stuff out there, even if it's not, I think she was in some way trying to position herself as the victim so that the women would take her side. And these are the tactics that she likes to use often. And she kind of lost her discretion because she was drinking. So she didn't think this through, right? Eileen says, I was wondering if other ladies have experienced SA as well, and maybe that explains their reaction. Probably. I think that definitely factors into it. For me, though, objectively, I just didn't see the correlation between Uba's comment and it being insensitive regarding Bryn's experience, right? Like, to me, the two just didn't add up. Even if Uba was aware, I didn't think that that was Uba taking a cheap shot and a low blow at Bryn and weaponizing Bryn's prior experience at all. So that's the part that was just a little strange to me. But so then Jessel goes and talks to Uba, and Jessel's like, Uba, did you do this? And so at this point, cameras are down, audio's down, whatever. But they do still have some of the like the GoPro cams that are up in the corner that catch like the main hallway. So when Jessel reveals to Uba that Bryn disclosed this to them, and Jessel was like, I can't believe that you would weaponize this, even though you know like Bryn's experience. And then Uba flips the fuck out. And we see them kind of scattering in the hallway because at this point it's all raw footage. Cameramen aren't up anymore. Now it's just all of them, it's just the GoPro, and whatever the GoPro audio and video was captured is what we're seeing in this hallway until producers get involved and they bring the cameras back up. And so we're seeing Uba flip out, and she's going crazy, and she can't believe. She's like, I never knew that. She never told me that. She never disclosed that to me. Like, Bryn is a liar. She's a hypocrite. She's all these things, right? Uba went Uba hot all over Bryn. She flipped out. And I get it. I get why she would flip out, right? One, it's late, everybody's tired, everybody's drinking. So reactions are going to be bigger than they normally would be. But that's a big thing to be like, you knew that I was assaulted and you weaponized that against me. Again, personally, me watching it objectively, don't see the direct correlation. However, I understand why Uba would be pissed with the way that Bryn is trying to lay down the tracks for this, right? She's putting down the foundation to make Uba look bad. And that's what makes it so strange for me when we see the women, because then the night ends, cameras go down, and they don't start filming again until it's 5 days later, and they're at the opening credits shoot where Uba and Bryn have to see each other again. And it was weird seeing like Aaron and Juzzle talking, and they're just like, I don't know. I see both sides of it. I don't know how I feel. Like I see, Bryn's side and I see Uba's side. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, what do you mean you see both sides of it? The only side of it, yes, Uba may be a hothead, but the only side here is really Uba's, because Bryn completely pulled a Blake Lively and misrepresented the details. And then we find out that Bryn actually revealed to the other women that, oh, she did share this with Uba, but it's possible that Uba didn't register it, or like she said it so passively and flippantly that Uba didn't catch it. And so everyone's like, what? So you didn't have this deep heart-to-heart conversation with Uba where you disclose this information to her, and you think there's a chance that she wasn't trying to weaponize this against you because you think there's a chance that she, to this present day, is unaware of that? And it's like, hello, that's a smoking gun. That makes Bryn look so bad. So bad. Laura said, so she lied. I mean, to give her the benefit of the doubt, she didn't. I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like she lied, but I'm trying to like give Bryn the benefit of the doubt of like, well, maybe she was under the impression, that this is what Uba heard when it's not really what Uba heard. Bryn tried to get everyone to turn against Uba. Yeah, that's the part, Steph, that's the craziest for me, is that she genuinely tried to get everybody to turn against Uba based off of this one statement that Uba made about her sleeping her way to the top. Jen says, and used her essay to shame someone. Yeah, that's dark. It's deep. It's dark. People are saying that it was like it was similar to like when Phaedra, I guess, made the allegations about Portia and Candy. Yeah. Bryn definitely seems to be on an island. I would imagine none of the other women stick by Bryn because all of these women feel very performative, and I think they'll do what they think the audience wants them to do, and I think they're going to try to ostracize Bryn. And it's possible that if this show does come back for a third season, which I'm predicting now that it will, I think it will come back for another season. I think the finale is probably going to have some good ratings. And then on top of that, I think the last couple of episodes, or the last few episodes, have started to get better because we had Beverly Hills return, and Beverly Hills is the lead-in for the show. So, yeah. Yeah. Myra says, if you guys believe that you're subscribed, please check. It kicks me off all the time. Oh, thank you, Myra. Yes, guys, please continue to stay subscribed. If you're not subscribed, continue to stay subscribed. I love when you're subscribed. Subscribe, and leave me nice Apple Podcast reviews, and leave me nice Spotify ratings. I love it. I love it all. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's funny. This morning I noticed that. Let's see. How are the Apple charts doing at the moment? Number 16. Wow. I'm number 16 on the Apple top 200 or top 100. Not too shabby. Number 16 on Apple. I'm right here in line with Danny Pellegrino, Sarah Fraser, Daily Dose of Donna. Love Sarah and Donna. Love Danny too, but Sarah and Donna and I are all good friends. I was just on Sarah Fraser's show last week. And the three of us were on a group thread this morning. So shout out to Donna and Sarah, Donna Bowling and Sarah Fraser. Love those ladies. And please continue to show the podcast some love, all the love in the club. In the club. We all fam. Yep, number 9 on Spotify. Bada boom, baby. Bada boom. That's so exciting. Thanks, guys. I love you. I love all the love and appreciation. You guys are the bomb.com. What's a going on? Mm, 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 mm. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys now. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you. This was fun, though. Thank you for tuning in to a new episode of No Filter with Zack Peter. We have the RHONY reunion next week. We have the Salt Lake City reunion this week. Salt Lake City was good. Beverly Hills is okay. It's probably not like the best. I think Salt Lake City shined, and I think RHONY finally picked back up for this finale. The rest of the season was terrible. Like the show was just so bad and so boring. But I mean, I would imagine it's gonna be back for a third season. We'll see what happens with Bryn, though. Nina says, haven't seen It Ends With Us, but I'm 100% invested in this because of Zack. Thank you. I found Donna through Zack. Yes. Yeah, I'm glad. Continue to support Donna. She goes live in 30 minutes, so be sure to go and to Donna. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Stock up on your merch. 50% of the proceeds from this month will be donated to the LA Fire Department to help with the LA fires. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope you get humped today. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Goodbye for now to you, my friends. Goodbye for now until we meet again. Bye, guys.